Welcome back to some Deep Rock Galactic. I'm going to be doing something a little different this time. I am going to be doing a science experiment. The question has been raised time and time again. Does mining with unconventional sources reduce or increase or in any way affect the yield of the mining? As you can see, I've got no perks. I've got an experimental plasma charger rigged up for thin containment mining. I've got my satchel charge, and I've got the drills. I'm going to be testing all of these methods, and I'm going to see if anything actually does affect the way you mine. In order to get a suitable control for this, I'm going to be going into deep dives. Now the reason I'm using deep dives is because they're pre-seeded. They have the exact same layout every time and the exact same yields for the exact same veins in the exact same places. For our control, I'm going to be using this gold vein right here and that nitra vein right there. I'm going to be trying them both to see if anything is affected. And these are some pretty big veins, so we're going to be seeing a fairly hefty difference, I feel like. So we'll start with the pickaxe, the control. I'm no Bosco, but I'm pretty thorough with the pickaxe. I'm not going to be losing a whole lot from this. There. That's acceptable enough. It's not perfect, of course, but I'd be spending way too much time on those last few units, and it can't be expected normal play to be mining those.
Flares are recharging!
Alright, now for the nitra. And that looks good enough. So as you can see, I've got 29 gold and 36 nitra. 29 gold, 36 nitra. Remember that. Remember those numbers. Those are going to be important to remember later. 29 gold, 36 nitra with a pickaxe. That's our standard yield. Now for our next trick, we're going to be using the EPC with thin containment field. You can do that, which mines ores.
It's overheated!
Now it is worth mentioning that if you do it repeatedly, it will overheat. God, I'm not very good at this, as you can see. I think that should go good. There we go. So it dropped 2 chunks and left a little bit, so let me go grab that real quick. Now I've got 29 gold. And now let's do the same thing for the nitro.
Damn flares could need an upgrade.
And I've got 36 nitro. 29 gold, 36 nitro. 29 gold, 36 nitro. Remember that. 29 gold, 36 nitro. That's our EPC test. But of course I'm not going to stop there. There's other things you can do. I'm going to be using the satchel charge now. This uses a similar method. It's an explosion based. I fully expect this to have the exact same results as the EPC, primarily because they both have this sort of explosion.
All out!
Now it actually looks like that gold got destroyed, which is interesting, because that wasn't the case the last time I did a sort of experiment like this. I didn't record that, so I can't be sure, but at the moment it does appear that the satchel charge destroys some errant resources when you are blowing up nodes with it. Now it is possible that the force of the blast scattered the gold to another part of the cave, but we've lost out on 2 gold from that. Now, that's not a lot of gold, and I'm going to take a quick lap around the cave to see if the chunk landed somewhere. I'm not quite done with the satchel charge yet, though. It has a rock mover upgrade that allows you to carve out a much larger area. I have a bit of a hypothesis, and I'm going to test that right now by doing this. And as you can see, it carved out the whole vein in one hit. And there we go, I've got 29 gold. So that's actually the full amount, if I remember correctly, which means that my current hypothesis is either it's inconsistent, or that mining the chunks, why didn't that throw? Mining small chunks with the big explosives causes some issues. Now I detonated the nitro vein right there, and it appears to have launched the chunks. Actually, did it launch the chunks? Strangely enough, it appears to have destroyed the chunks, and I'm not sure why. That shouldn't happen. It really shouldn't happen. And it's never happened before. I've never seen that ever happen before. I'm gonna chalk that up to lag, but it is something to look out for. Hold on. I'm back here again with the satchel charge because I'm genuinely confused with what I'm seeing. As you can see by the performance readout, I'm not exactly getting pinnacle performance right now. But I'm genuinely concerned that, for whatever reason, the nitra just vanished. I saw the chunks. At least I'm pretty sure I saw the chunks. If just for a second. But they vanished. Here we are. That's very interesting. Okay. So it appears that the satchel charge, especially with Rock Mover, although I didn't test it without Rock Mover, it appears that the satchel charge does destroy nitra when you use it on minerals. However, it doesn't seem to destroy gold at all, and the EPC doesn't do this at all. So I'm not sure what's happening here. Maybe it's some specific interaction, or maybe it's a bug, but either way, this seems to only affect the satchel charge. Just to make sure I'm not going crazy, I'm going to do the EPC test again.
Flares ain't ready.
Interesting. That time I got 28 gold, which is slightly less. So it is inconsistent.
Rock really need to provide some better equipment.
But I still got 36 nitra. So it does seem to be a thing exclusive to the satchel charge. The EPC does not destroy nitra when you use it to mine. I'm not quite done yet. I've still got a few more things to test. First, I'm going to do a physics test. For those of you that don't know, if you separate a chunk from the rest of the stage and the map, it will break. I'm using the drills to avoid actually accidentally mining the vein, but I'm going to test and see if mining using this sort of physics break actually reduces your yield or not. $29 gold. And 36 nitra. Bam. Mining using physics does not reduce your yield. At least, not all the time. You've got one last thing to try, and that's our good friend Bosco. As you can see, we've got 28 gold, however he did leave a couple of chunks behind. It's no more than I did with my pickaxe test, but it isn't a whole lot of a lower yield either. Let's go ahead and test the nitra. And I've got 26 nitra, so it appears that the nitra total wasn't reduced.